Welcome to the Patriots Lab, where we ain't even trying to make them liberals mad. Cause freedom of speech is what us individuals have. It's the gift when we gab, talking about things that the brainwash cannot mentally grasp, like staying loud and waving our American flags. This is for the free thinkers, wearing their MAGA and wearing the cags. Draining the swamp is the ultimate goal, but the sheeple will swear it's a fad, like it's just a phrase. But when we show them the facts, the fools got nothing to say. And deep government state wanna get up in our face, but hasn't done it yet cause Trump's in the way, trying to protect us from a troublesome fate. And because of that, we'll never lose our faith, plus God keeping us cool and safe. But I still hope we get 4 more years so we could throw a huge parade. I can see it now, Patriots on a float, and POTUS will go down in history as one of the GOATs. For making the swamp pay for taking every one of his votes. His enemies are the cancer, whether or not Trump give him the smoke. Now relax, sit back and take notes, as we kick facts with the homie Ray though. Speak your mind in the Patriots Lab. It's freedom time in the Patriots Lab, where we ain't even trying to, we make them liberals mad. I said speak your mind in the Patriots Lab. It's freedom time in the Patriots Lab, where we not even trying to, we make them liberals mad. I said, speak your mind in the Patriots Lab. It's freedom time in the Patriots Lab, where we not even trying to, we make them liberals mad. Speak your mind. It's freedom time. Without even trying to, we make them liberals mad.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Good evening. It's Tuesday. I know I'm not supposed to be around, but I'm here anyway. Your ugly man is here anyway. But you know what? The devil is a lie, because I got booted off 3 times and they still won't let my shit connect. But that's okay, because I'm not on all the platforms right now, so I'm trying to get the actual and factual out to as many as I can while I can, because they starting to play games with you, dude. We got a lot to cover in a little bit of time, so let me tell you what's actually on my mind. We all know I'm not going to do too many video clips tonight for the simple fact that they're messing with your boy. But before we get into the Hunter Biden situation, you know, it just irks me when people claim they're trying to achieve something in life, but yet they keep bumping their head upside a brick wall and not achieving what their goal is. So before we get into it, I'm going to show a little clip of the future of the WNBA. Y'all already been hearing about it. CATLIN Clark, I don't know why they left this girl off. She's one of the nastiest things going right now. I'll let the tape speak for itself.
Clark eyes up. Bounces to Boston. Boston one-on-one with Jones, will flip it in. Nelson Adota trying to save it and does. And now Clark comes up with a steal. Clark thought about pulling up for 3.
To the lane. Oh, y'all know y'all get the actual back. Of course, they give me commercials. But I'm going to get back into it.
Side and lay it in. There are the first points in the WNBA career of CATLIN Clark.
Now,
take it at the rim. Here, hesitation. You have to
look at that hesitation.
It goes by.
Now, they saying she ain't that good to be on the Olympic team.
Back
We'll get into that.
Here's Clark, a good look from 3. She
Oh.
got it. The first 3
Can you see her
in the career of CATLIN.
Now, can you just see her raining threes on other countries all day? Especially coming off of picks with WNBA players, if they can get her in the mix. See, we're going to get into all the excuses that they gave us.
CATLIN Clark does not need much space here.
With 16 points, she's played terrific defense as well. Here's Clark off a screen, gets a look.
Look at that.
Let's put that on the offensive end.
That bird all day in the Olympics.
Carrington. She goes over the screen
all day.
Probing, drags out Nelson Adota. Clark will fire and hit the 3. CATLIN Clark with her
Okay. So we're going to start the show off. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Do me a favor. jump over to Facebook, share it to them. I told them that it was only a matter of time before they was gonna disallow me to keep bringing the actual and factual over there. But getting back to Miss Clark, that's what they don't want to see. That's just the actual and the factual of it all. That's what they don't want to see. They like, oh no, ain't no white girl gonna come out of nowhere and take our shine and get all the publicity and all. See, but they're cutting off their nose to spite their face. You know, I don't understand what's happening in this situation. Why it's so not so clear. Because what I'm finding out is there's a majority of men that are out there taking the stance on behalf of CATLIN Clark not making the team. Then there are women who are coming up with and I'm talking about ex-ball players and prior ball players. Prior, present, okay. They're coming up with every excuse in the book why CATLIN Clark legitimately wasn't picked for the team. I'm going to let, and I hate when I start riding with people and then I think they're going in a certain direction and I say I ain't going to ride with them no more because they can't make up their mind. But this is my thing. If you stay in your lane and know your role, I'll roll with you. So I decided to revert back to my boy Stephen A because he knows his basketball. Take it away, Stephen.
None of what Shanae and Andrea said was inaccurate. And I'm going to say something to you that I have said on many, many occasions. It's not that you're wrong. It's that we don't care. Everything y'all said does not matter for this particular instance. We don't want to hear anything about Team USA. We know they won 7 straight goals. Put Andrea and Shanae up on this screen.
So what Andrea and Shanae's point was that there's women more experienced. They've been playing together longer. They have more chemistry, and it's more of a team unity. Well, like Stephen A is about. Let me go ahead and let Stephen A break it down. Then I'll jump in after that.
Want to look at them this whole segment when I'm talking to them. You just highlighted 7 straight gold medals. Oh my God, we're really worried.
First half. We're talking about a meltdown of monumental proportions.
I don't know. I'm going to lie bet on the win.
Speaking of winning,
do me a
I'm about to
favor,
close
while
this out right
going
now.
on, like, share, subscribe, ring the bell so you can get the notifications, and share this video. Appreciate it.
Worried that they're not going to get an 8th. Oh, we really want. I mean, we got to make sure that spots 1 through 12, every single spot that is picked. I mean, it's got to be because it's pivotal, Shannon.
See, and I like it because he's clowning them. He's clowning them right now because you got to figure there's 12 women. Well, 7 of them are he-she's or something like that. I don't know what they want to call them. But getting back to out of 12 of them, you mean to tell me you can't find room to put CATLIN Clark in there over any of them? Because they've been there 3-4 times and stuff. You hear them, they got the team chemistry. I believe their record was like 70-3. They've won 7 straight gold medals. I mean, there's nowhere you could have put her in there and worked her into the game plan. Hell, leave her on the bench. Nothing. You mean to tell me one person was going to be that vital to all the greatness that y'all have already achieved? Go ahead, Stephen A.
I don't know if you noticed that it's pivotal. I mean, they won 7 straight. They might not get 8. They might not get 8. Stop it. You know good and damn well with or without Caitlin Clark, they're going to probably win the gold again. That's not what this conversation is about. This is about what I will personally label the idiocy of Team USA women's basketball. How dare you make this decision? It's stupid. And I'm going to tell you why it's stupid. I want all the ladies on this squad to know every single one of y'all are deserving of it. Caitlin Clark does not deserve a spot ahead of any of the players on this roster, okay? If we're talking just basketball.
We're not. And he's going to get into the whole scheme of it.
You know we're not. You know we're not. Let's harken back to the Dream Team in 1992. Remember when Christian Laettner was on that squad? Forget the other pro play. Forget the pro players.
Right.
Forget the pro players. That's a given. First time NBA players were allowed to participate. Don't put that damn screen up when I'm talking right now. I want to see Shanae and Andrea, okay? The point is this. Those rosters, right? Those players were on there. Do you know that Christian Laettner also was chosen ahead of Shaquille O'Neal and Alonzo Mourning? You know why? He was a two-time national champion. He was a Wooden Award winner. And he was white. And he had his own cachet. He brought it to the table. He was a big-time collegiate player who was white and busting people's you-know-what.
That's what I just got finished talking about. They do not want her to step on to the scene and take the shine away. So here you have a group of women who for years have been fighting for more pay, fighting for more ticket sales, fighting for bigger ratings, fighting for bigger endorsement deals, fighting to be able to fly first class. And you basically get the goose that laid the golden egg. They give you Caitlin Clark, somebody that can just expand the game as a whole for all women. And y'all decide that y'all can't make room for her on the team. And to hear the excuses, well, they're out there to win and they won. Like Stephen A. said, they've been winning for years. Look, it doesn't make a difference if Caitlin Clark is on the basketball squad or not. They are going to demolish whoever they play. And can you just imagine if they gave her the opportunity to come off of some of them pick and rolls off some of them huge girls out there on the court? Do you know she could just be raining threes on the Europeans? They don't want that. They don't want Caitlin Clark to be the next person to be that great white hope. They don't want it. So they rather continue to take scraps because she's already in endorsement deals and everything else, made more money than any of these, well, a lot of these NBA, WNBA players are going to see in a lifetime. She's already made that with endorsements. I think Nike, $28 million? They're hating on her. They're literally hating on her. And do you know how I know they're hating on her? Check this out. This is one of the reasons why I believe and why I say that they're hating on her. I don't even. Okay, here it goes. I got it. I still got it. Let me see. Let me see if I can bring it up, or if my system shut me down. But this is one of the reasons why I believe that they're hating on her. Let me see if I can get it to come up. Okay, we do have it. Let me see. All right. And where we got? The WA promoted Clark's preseason opener versus Dallas Wings on May 3rd, calling on fans to catch the game for free on the WNBA app. The WNBA, however, didn't promote the Lynx versus Chicago Sky preseason bout. To make matters worse, the game wasn't streamed by WNBA fans. Let me fix this. Let me fix this. Y'all bear with me for a second. Uh, to make matters worse, the game wasn't streamed by the WNBA as fans had tuned into a live stream from a fan in attendance to watch the game. In response to WNBA promotion of Clark preseason opener, Reeve sent a very clear message about how the league is promoting one and not all of its players. And we'll get into who she is in a minute. Also in action tonight, Minnesota Lynx versus Chicago Sky, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Though fans won't be able to watch Lynx, fans can go to Lynx app to follow along via play-by-play, or if you are in market, come to the game as we start the season off right, Reeves said. That's her right there. In a strong message from Reeve, who makes a good point, there's nothing wrong with the WNBA promoting its most popular player, but leaving everyone else out of the mix is flat wrong. Okay, we are going to leave it right there at that. That is not only a head coach in the WNBA making that statement, she is also the leading person on the committee that elects and selects and deselects and has say so on who gets on here. Now, look, just like everything else with the Hunter Biden shit and the Trump shit and all that shit, we see straight through all their bullshit. We know there's been controversy surrounding CATLIN Clark since day one. We know that. So, what is to make us believe that because she didn't make the squad, after precedence has already been set that you do not have to be the best player to be on the team? Stephen A. just pointed out Kristen Leitner. Ain't no way in hell he was one of the best players in the world. But he was on the squad. And there was a plethora of other people. Now, if you put a whole group together that just isn't talented, well, you see what just happened to the men. They got knocked their ass out. Now they talking about making the dream team all over again, come back, whatever. But to stay with the WNBA, they've won 70 out of the 73 games, 7 straight gold medals. Hell, Diana Taurasi is 40 years old? I mean, you got people that has been there 3, 4, 5, 6 times. If not now, to turn over the reins and the legacy that y'all have created to make sure it continues, what better person than to turn it over to CATLIN Clark? A proven leader, a proven champion, a proven scorer, a proven defensive player. She just might not be the best right now. So all the female ball play, all the women out there talking all that crap on the TV airwaves and trying to make up every excuse in the book why CATLIN Clark isn't on the squad. It's plain and simple. These women, for whatever reason, whether it be BLM, the Alphabet Mafia, because look at them. Do your research. Find out about them. And then you got CATLIN Clark, purebred white girl out of Iowa. Purebred white girl out of Iowa. Christian values. A boyfriend, if not her husband, but straight. You know what I'm saying? And she won't bow down and kiss the ring. So she has been ostracized. It don't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. She is the perfect person for them to be able to target. That's all I'm saying. She's the perfect person for them to be able to target. And they're doing a damn good job of it. Oh, they really are. Oh, they really are. Ooh, oh man, let me take me a swallow. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I didn't know if I was going to do a show because when I started, ran into a lot of technical difficulties. Unless you go through some technical issues and stuff, and I know some other podcasters that do, you really wouldn't understand how they can have control to be able to manipulate and dictate when they want to. My devices. In the luxury of my own home. No, we don't want you to do this today. Click. We don't want you to do it. Because I'm not doing nothing different than I was doing yesterday or the day before. But all of a sudden, I mean, they pull up shit from people 6-7 years just to give them a straight. Just not be able. It is what it is. It is what it is. But let's move right on into the next one. This next video I'm about to show you guys and girls, people, patriots, whoever you consider yourself to be. I couldn't believe it unless I seen it with my own eyes. So I was like, yo, this really can't be for real. But I don't know. On something like this, you make the call. Now, recently, there's been a video floating around of Brittany Griner, topless, with no shirt on, shooting hoops by the pool. Enough talking about it. I'm gonna let you judge for yourself, and y'all let me know what you think, because I about lost my damn mind. Once again, Brittany Griner at the pool. Who with Swaggy? Yo, I couldn't even get into it. I started watching the video, and the first thing I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Dude, she looked like my son. For real. She looked like my son from the side, bro. Go ahead, man.
Brittany, let me see something real quick. Brick, thank you. Get the fuck.
Yo, that's Phoenix, Arizona, at Brittany Yvette Griner, Swaggy versus Brittany Griner. I'm about to smoke. Yo, what's going on with this, man? What's wrong with this picture? Oh my Lord.
Get the hell out of here, yo. Jab stepping, it's a brick. Swing and a miss.
One more look.
Yo, I ain't gonna fake it right now.
Swag is down for the count. Let's get it.
Yo, I am. Are you serious? Are you serious? There's no way. I mean, what did they do to her in the Russian prison? Yo, that surgeon has to be the best surgeon ever. I don't know. I don't know.
Swaggy, Brittany, let me see something real quick.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now. Y'all drop your comments on that, because to be honest with you, I don't know what the hell I just saw. I thought I was looking at Brittany Griner. When I clicked on it, I really thought I was going to be seeing Brittany Griner. There ain't no way in hell. Well, it could be Brittany Griner. But if that's Brittany Griner, Brian Griner, I don't, dude. Yeah, that's what it looked like, a dude. Hey, I ain't gonna pass judgment. I don't know. The way the world is going right now, like Ric Flair says, woo! Man. Okay, so moving right along. Don't want to spend too much time on that topic. Y'all let that sink in for a minute. But moving right along, we have been dealing with this January 6th bullshit for way too long. Way too long. But God is good all the time. Can y'all say all the time? All the time. And when I'm in situations and I talk to people and they're in situations and I ask them, I say, you trust in God? They're like, yeah. I say, okay. Just remember, just because we want things to happen in our time, it's always going to be on God's time. Oh, but shit rises to the top. Oh, yes, it does. Eventually, the stench will come out of crap. Oh, my goodness. So we have Nancy Pelosi. I'm gonna go ahead and play this video of poor Nancy, and then we gonna talk about it. We gonna talk about it because these people are cray cray. These people are 100% cray cray. And
we have responsibility, Terry. We did not have any accountability for what was going on there, and we should have. This is ridiculous. You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've already breached the inaugural stuff that should we call the Capitol Police? I mean, the National Guard? Why weren't the National Guard there to begin with?
They thought that they had sufficient
No,
resources.
that is not a question of how they have been. They don't know. They clearly didn't know, and I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for more.
Okay. A lot of things I have to cover on that one right there. First of all, the witch is genuine. I hear it in her voice. She's freaking the hell out in the back of that car. Oh, she is. So whatever happened, oh, you can't fake that right there. She was unprepared. And she knew she should have been prepared. She knew there should have never been a chance for any crazy people to want to act crazy on that day. And there she says it. Yeah, and this is what I find funny because my wife gets on me not all the time, but sometimes you got to put the phone away. Sometimes you got to put the phone away. And if people recall, her daughter was basically doing a damn documentary. She was doing a documentary. I mean, there's footage of her going through the Capitol, recording her mom and doing a documentary. Why? That's a question that's never been answered. But there's a lot of questions about January 6th that's never been fully answered. But at least now we got one strong golden nugget, a confession from which Pelosi. That she should have been prepared. But yet, the whole time, what have we been hearing? She's been passing and blaming the buck since day one. It's not her responsibility. This and that. Excuse after excuse after excuse. This and that. It's not her responsibility. Then why, as soon as your ass strolls off into the car, hyperventilating and shit, frantic, why are you at that point realizing that it was your responsibility? And then you all of a sudden became down with amnesia and shit for the next 2-3 years? Look, when you're a liar, it doesn't matter the situation you're in. It doesn't matter the time of day you need to lie. It doesn't matter. You just know how to turn on that lying switch. Yeah, you do. It's crazy. What else have we got? I appreciate everybody for tuning in. It's a Tuesday. I didn't even know I was coming in on a Tuesday. But there's a lot going on. There is a lot going on. And like I said, they're liars. So we might as well just dive into another liar right now. So by now, I'm sure everybody has heard about the Hunter Biden guilty verdict. But before we get into the Hunter Biden guilty verdict, which they actually presented the laptop in that case, the resurrection of the laptop. But first, let's get to this clip. But I miss her. Compared to this dingbat they got in there now that don't know shit, at least Circle Back was a little creative with her shit.
Two topics really quick. First, the president has said, and you have tweeted, that allegations of wrongdoing based on files pulled from Hunter Biden's laptop are Russian disinformation. There's a new book by Politico reporter that finds some of the files on there are genuine. Is the White House still going with Russian disinformation?
I think it's broadly known and widely known, Peter, that there was a broad range of Russian disinformation back in 2020.
That was Circle Back. Then, but before I get into, because I gotta make sure I'm doing this right, because you can't use something in the court of law if the shit ain't actual and factual. So let's see what confirmed that it was actual and factual before we get into it.
Son, the first witness taking the stand in Hunter Biden's federal gun trial. The prosecution entering Hunter Biden's laptop as evidence.
What?
And what the defense claimed today. ABC's Terry Moran at the courthouse tonight.
With his wife by his side, Hunter Biden today was back in federal court in Delaware for opening statements in his trial on felony gun charges. First Lady Jill Biden and Hunter's sister Ashley sat behind the defendant in a show of support, while prosecutor Derek Hines laid out the government's case, telling the jury no one is above the law. It doesn't matter who you are or what your name is.
Well, they made that point abundantly clear. But getting back to the Hunter trial, see, a lot of people surprised that they found Hunter guilty. I'm not at all. And I'll tell you why. You cannot, and this is how I'm thinking about it. You cannot be a juror on a Hunter Biden case. I don't care you live in Delaware. With all of this information that is out, that's actual and factual, that he's done all of this shit, you cannot then be a juror and find him not guilty. They got family members, they got friends that are going through all of the same stuff. All of the same stuff. You cannot do that. Bear with me 1 second. Like, share, subscribe, ring the bell, get them instant. That was the wife calling in. Yes, it's just insane. But this is my thing. The laptop lives. There's going to be plenty more shit to come out of this with the IRS and all this. So it's not over. This is just the tip of the iceberg. But here's my question. Where the hell are those 51 agents that signed off on the laptop being Russian disinformation that's now allegedly being used to lock Hunter up? Which one is it? We already know. We already know. That's why I don't. How can Joe Biden debate Donald Trump? And you out there watching, y'all already know and understand. There's no way in hell. That is literally putting the nail in the coffin of Joe Biden. To have Joe Biden have to stand on a stage and face all the lies that the only thing Trump has to do is go off the same Q&A card that he had in the first go around with this clown. Because he lied about everything that's now out there. And then just ask a simple question. Are you better off today than you were 4 years ago? Look, this whole thing is just madness. It's just madness. I mean, I'm glad he got found guilty. I was hoping he was acquitted, but they didn't want to make it that obvious because the jurors wasn't having it. Now, the New York jurors, there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes with that. I had did a show a couple of weeks ago, about a week ago. I had did a show about a week ago. These people are not doing as well as they want to portray themselves to be doing, that they're trying to portray to the American people. But what do the American people know? They don't pay attention to what's going on. Like my girl Lucretia said, they're too busy asking their neighbor. I'm gonna start doing that one, girl. But it's crazy. So it's not the point of knowing or not knowing if Hunter was guilty. We already knew he was guilty. We just wanted to know if he was going to be found guilty. That was the big thing. We already knew the laptop was real. You know, for some reason, these Democrats, they don't want to give us as much credit as we deserve. Or they just don't give a damn. You know, it's either one or two. They just don't give a damn. But I was streaming through, and I came across a Dr. Phil segment. And for all of you who don't know, Dr. Phil was Oprah's like mentor or something like that. I wonder what he thinks about her ass right now today. Because Dr. Phil is pissed. He's not happy. Let me show you what happened to Dr. Phil. Well, I'll tell you what happened after I go into this clip. It's just a brief clip on Dr. Phil's show on his little doo-wop with Trump. And they're going to break down how Trump was. Now, everybody loves Dr. Phil. You talk about a household name for the daytime, for the homemakers and for the women that stay at home. They're not going to turn on Dr. Phil because they already know the actual and factual. So he's just doing nothing but giving validation.
And if they're not doing their job, we need to kick them to the curb and get somebody that will. That's how we need to do it. I want to introduce some good friends, colleagues, and experts in their field. First is former prosecutor and News on Merritt Street anchor, Lonnie Coombs.
That's because I don't got an engineer, so I got to do all of this myself.
We've been working together for many, many years out in LA. Also is my good friend who has left an indelible mark on the courtroom, Dallas trial lawyer for 50 years, Rod Phelan. He is an absolutely brilliant legal mind. He's really committed to justice. And finally, Greg Hartley. He is a body language expert and a member of behavior panel. And he's part of the family here at Merritt Street, so he's watching every one of you to see if you're doing anything. And it is absolutely brilliant and part of the behavior panel team. So I'll start with you four, and anybody can just jump in. You were all watching the interview, and I'm curious what your takeaways were from the interview. Anything jumped out at you? Because we're talking about someone that, according to the polls, may very likely resume the presidency of the United States soon, which would very likely put him back in a position of being the most powerful man on the planet in terms of politics, military power, and control. And I think this was an opportunity to have a look at him like we don't often see. So I'm just curious what your takeaways were.
Well, for me, right off, your relationship was clear, that you had a relationship with him, that you could talk to him in a way a lot of people may not be able to.
That's because the Don is authentic. He's a real one.
And that chemistry matters. You know, Jung, the famous psychologist, once said that no two people are the same after interaction. So we had to watch for that. And we could see when he understood that you were not there just to excoriate him and just go after him, that he made a good eye contact with you and started to pay attention and was like, okay, somebody gets what I'm saying at least.
All right, well, let's take a look. We have a clip of what you're pointing out.
You know, it was interesting when you called the other day about doing an interview. A lot of people want to do interviews, and I don't just agree to them very easily.
Hell no.
But I've always had great respect for you. I watch your show, some of the real good ones. And
what do you see?
So if you watched him, we typically think when people are having an emotional thought, they look down and to their right, their eyes will go down and to the right. Think about the last wedding or funeral you went to, and that will happen. We see him do that when he's describing the problem. But as soon as he starts saying somebody of your stature, watch him raise his head and.
That's right. And I'm about to tell you, give him that respect. That's what an alpha dog does.
Make eye contact and show respect. That's powerful. That means who else is going to do that?
Right. You know, my position, just so you know, going into this kind of interview is I'm not a gotcha interviewer. I've never been a gotcha interviewer. I want to give people a chance to tell their story, say what they want to say, and then ask questions that I think the viewer would want asked. And if they don't answer them, then I'm going to ask them again. And if they go off on a 4th of July speech, then I'm going to say, well, that was a nice speech. Now answer my question. I do want my questions answered, but I give them a chance to say what they want to say. But then, and I told him at one point, I want people to get to know you because you're always campaigning. I don't want you campaigning. I want you to talk to us as a father and a husband and an individual. We want to know who you are, because he's got a speech that he gives, a stump speech that he gives. We've heard that.
Yeah, that's one thing about Trump. When he goes out there, and Dr. Phil's right, that man, because he's thinking business all the time. He's thinking business. He don't never slow down. So Dr. Phil was like, yo, let's just slow back. And sometimes when a man is always focused, business, doing on his grind, you got to pull him back, because you got to keep him from himself. I know, I understand.
That we want to hear some other things, and he was willing to do that.
Yeah, it showed when he made eye contact with you. From that point on, I watched him throughout the entire interview. He cared what you thought, and that's important because it gives a person the opportunity to actually show you the human side as well.
Joe Biden don't give a damn what you think. He ain't gonna look. Well, he might look you in the eye, but you damn well better be damn skippy it's going to be a lie.
And by the way, I have an invitation to President Biden to do the same thing. I have an interview scheduled with RFK Jr.
He might show up
for week after next to do the same thing. These are the three people that are involved. Maybe RFK Jr. as a spoiler, but he could swing this whole election one way or the other. So I'm talking to all the candidates that'll talk to me. So we'll see how that goes. Rod, what do you think?
Well, I wrote down 5 things, Phil. He is the toughest guy I have ever seen. I've tried cases, of course, and you're exhausted when you try a case as a lawyer. Just imagine if you're sitting there powerless, the client, the guy who's got the bullseye painted on him, your freedom's at stake, and you've got no control over what happens in the courtroom. You got a hostile judge, you think the jury's hostile, your lawyers may or may not be doing what you want them to do. And Trump and he's getting it from all sides. That was one of 5 cases. I mean, and he just goes forward full steam ahead.
That is why. And that's why I respect Donald Trump so much. See, in life, you don't get an opportunity too often to be around, rub shoulders with, or to literally watch a alpha at work. And if you're not an alpha yourself, and only alphas know what I'm talking about. Just because you're a man don't make you an alpha. If you're not an alpha yourself, you wouldn't understand. That's why I give that man a level of respect that I do. And that's why I will go into battle with that man any day, for that man any day. Just for what that man just explained. For what he's having to put up with and tolerate and deal with. Not just him, but his family on some bullshit. Man, miss me with that.
Second, he wears a bullseye and he gets shot at because he's so formidable. I mean, this guy is really a force. I mean, I said to somebody, Phil kind of attended that interview as opposed to conducting it.
Because one of the things is, and me being an alpha, we'll give you respect, but we demand respect. And it's just a different aura. It's just a different presence about yourself. Just like that man said, Trump went into that and Dr. Phil was an attendee. He was no longer an interviewer. Because Dr. Phil, I like him, but he's not an alpha.
And that's all you can do with a guy like Trump.
Well, we just signed professional bull riding here, and so I thought that was a warm-up.
That's my train. That's my train.
3, he stays on message. He may wind around, but it's a familiar message, and he's going in the direction that he wants to go, trying to pull everybody with him. 4, he is a damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead guy. I mean, nothing gets in his way. He's going to go where he wants to go. You may not like where he's going, but you know where he's going, and he's going as hard as he can. And last, this guy wants revenge so bad he can taste it.
And you know what? He's right about that. But whether he does it or doesn't do it, and in this next clip here, as they move on, you're going to notice they use the words revenge and retribution.
But he knows better. And Phil, after letting him run as Phil did throughout that interview, finally said, I want to see if I can get you where I want you. Will you take it back? Will you not be a vengeful president if you win? And he said, yes, I'm okay with that. That was really powerful. I hope he can stick to it.
What do you think about the revenge point?
You know, Dr. Phil, I love to watch interviews, and I love to watch masterful interviews. And I'm always watching how the interviewer is getting to.
This is what I have, or this is the problem I have. Why should he have to turn the other cheek? See, it's easy for any of these people. I don't care who you are, Democrat, Republican, liberal. I don't care. It's easy for you to say turn the other cheek when the shit hasn't been done to you. It's easy for you to say, oh, we need to have that come together moment. You need to be the bigger person. It hasn't been done to you. And if he gets their ass the legal way, why aren't y'all all for it? Why aren't you for accountability? Like I tell people, I know that Don can walk and chew bubble gum. He can sign them executive orders and lock people up at the same time. He sure can. I'm going to let her finish.
To that information. I thought that this was the part of your interview that I just found fascinating, and I watched it over and over again. You literally laid out, okay, I am now going to ask you about retribution and revenge. I mean, you just put it out there to him. And I knew it was important to you because you literally came at it 4 different times. You kept coming. The first time you said, okay, what if? What if you just said, enough is enough? We're going to stop it now. And his response was, I'm okay with that sometimes. I'm sure in certain moments I wouldn't be, and then he kind of went off, and then you came in the second time. And your second time was, every situation needs a hero. You're in a position to be the hero. Do you want to do that? Will you step up? You're like constantly giving him that opportunity.
See, Dr. Phil has conceded. Dr. Phil already knows. So everybody that's going to watch Dr. Phil is going to know the truth. They all going to know the truth. But I'm going to get ready to land this plane. But as I do, I'm going to go out with a couple of videos because, the important thing is we have to understand and realize that Donald Trump was done wrong. The people that did all of the illegal shit, they are not above the law. Don't they say all the time Donald Trump isn't above the law, this person isn't above the law? So holding people accountable, how can that be seen as retribution or retaliation? It's just holding people accountable because they're not above the law. I seen this one video and I kind of liked it, so I figured I'd play it and leave out with it. And it's a good one. It's a good one.
Couldn't pay me to vote for a Democrat. Local, state, federal elections, I don't care what it is. You couldn't pay me to vote for one. You know why? Because they know that we, and I mean people whose skin color look like mine, they know that we vote party over interest. So after we vote, what do? They don't need us for anything. That's what they do. Year after year after year. I'm from Baltimore, and I go home at least twice a year to see family. Same abandoned homes, same crime rate. We haven't had a Republican mayor since the 60s. And look at our environment. The same can be said for Memphis. The same can be said for St. Louis. The same can be said for Detroit. The same can be said for a lot of these cities all over this country that have been led down the toilet by Democrats for decades. Stop voting party over interest and vote interest over party.
And he's right about that. And y'all have to understand that. You can't keep voting for handouts because you think that's what people are going to offer you. There's a lot of things going on that if you get involved, it could be a different situation for yourself. Stop voting party over interest and start focusing on policy. And to close it out, once again, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I see the eyeballs up there. I don't even know what platforms I'm running on because I know I'm on YouTube and X. And the other ones have been unlinked. But I'm going to go ahead and close this out with this last video. And everybody needs to take this to heart and understand that it's real. It really is.
People, it doesn't matter how or what you feel about Donald Trump, but if you're a true student of the Constitution, if you're a student of law, even if you have a moral standard of justice, all of America ought to be afraid right now for that man to be convicted without the right to adequately defend himself from charges that weren't even stated. We've lost our republic. Our Constitution is dead. And everyone else in America, we ought to be afraid for ourselves. It's not a good thing. And for those that think it is, that's the enemy. To see.
And that's plain and simple in a nutshell. There are enough people today that see what's going on that we can say with confidence, the ones that continually want to believe the lie, which they know is a lie, they're evil and they're the enemy. Because we are in serious times right now. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. It was a great hour. Y'all make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. Ring the bell so you can get those instant notifications. I'll be uploading this to Facebook, and hopefully the Facebook fans will find out you're going to have to go over to another platform if you want to get the live studios. So, appreciate everybody for tuning in on a Tuesday night pop-up. Turned into a great one. This is your man. I'm out. Peace.